So most people believe that the rich just got lucky, that success is about timing, privilege, or just being born into it. And that if you're not already ahead, well, then you never will be. Now, here's the part that most people find really difficult to accept. It's mindset. That is the key reason that you're not where they are. It's not your job, it's not the system, it's not your situation, and it's not the government. Now, in this video, I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud, the thing that nobody else wants to talk about or wants to post about, but that you need to hear if you're truly passionate and if you're truly committed to taking control of your financial future. This is what the ultra wealthy actually know. Now, having spent over a decade working in corporate finance and having coached women from all different corners of the world, I have seen every single polarizing view that is out there. And in this video, I want to take you through 5 key points that may offend you, honestly, but if you let them sink in, I can guarantee they will shift your financial future forever. So firstly, if you're still blaming the patriarchy for your bank balance, you've already lost. Yes, inequality exists. Yes, I have experienced it firsthand. I spent over a decade working in the financial industry. I'm very aware that it was made by men, for men, and there's a lot of inequality that exists across different class systems, across gender, across race. But if we continue to keep blaming, keep pointing fingers, and keep putting our focus and energy on what is wrong, we are taking away the opportunity from ourselves to do what matters. And that is building assets, increasing our income, finding new sources of income, and increasing our ability to make money work for us. Now, I built my business because of the inequality that I saw. I wanted to support and educate and teach and empower others how to become truly financially empowered from understanding the strategies of building wealth and investing, and also do the deeper inner work that I know just creates this magical, powerful shift, not only in our finances, but in every single aspect of our life. So I have lived and breathed it, and I have taken action to do what I can to counter it, but I do not live in it, focused on it, because what we resist persists. Where focus goes, energy flows. I do not want to give all my time and energy fighting the patriarchy, this mystical thing, or these systems that I think are unfair. I rather take action to do what I can to counter them, but more importantly, take my own personal power back, and instead of blaming others and acting as a victim, actually take steps to say, well, what can I do in my corner of the world to empower myself, to empower my family, and to educate others so that they can empower themselves too. When I first started working in finance in London and I became vastly and starkly aware of the inequality that existed, I went down so many feminist rabbit holes and it did not serve me. I became so hyper aware of the inequality that it stopped me from turning up, owning the room, owning my own power, owning my own expertise, and actually making progress. I kept falling back into this narrative of, oh, that's because I'm a woman. And it was only after about a year when I really stepped back and thought, what I'm doing here is counter to everything I know to be true about manifestation. And so I had to really shift things and say, yes, I can witness inequality, I can be part of the change, but I can also take back my power and not live in that space. And that is really what I want to get across to you. Don't waste your time and give up your power playing victim, pointing finger and blaming. As accurate and as right as you may be in doing so, it is taking away your energy and your focus and your opportunity of building real wealth and building real power for yourself. So shift your focus on where you want to go, not what you're fighting anymore. So yes, the pay gap, wage gap, pension gap, it all exists. But a 2023 study by Harvard Business Review found that women who focus on investing, who focus on entrepreneurship, close that gap 3 times faster than those who don't. And that is to highlight that yes, even though inequalities may exist, you still have a vast amount of personal power if you choose to use it and actually apply it to your life. And look, the brutal truth here is that you can't dismantle a system while still begging it to pay you. I know this might be a hard pill to swallow, but the sooner you do and you take back control, then you are in the driving seat to actually make real change in your life. Now, if you're looking for a community where you can delve deeper into both the strategy, but also the inner work to support you on that journey, be sure you check out The Collective. It's my brand new wealth community where we look at everything from the strategic, the energetic, the mindset work. It's an amazing space of wealth conscious individuals. We have seasoned investors in there as well as beginners. So if it sounds like something that you're ready for in this next step in your journey, check out the details down below in the description. All right, this will be a tough one for a lot of you to swallow, but most women do not want to be wealthy. They want to be rescued in style. No shade, because at one point I was there too. I grew up watching the Disney movies, always seeing Prince Charming coming to rescue the princess, and unknowingly created this narrative. And maybe a part of it was always seeing my dad as the breadwinner, but created this narrative that men were the ones that were good with finances and men were the ones that would take care of that area of my life and one day just ride in on their nice horse and take care of all my finances, do all my investments for me, and just figure out my pensions and everything else, and I'd be taken care of. Now, obviously, this is unconscious. I wasn't actively saying, hey, let me with my finance degree and my chartered accountancy qualification and my big job give up all my personal power and wait to be saved. God, no, that was not what I was consciously thinking. But those beliefs, that all that unconscious programming was sitting there dictating my actions, which was I wasn't taking action. For the first 4 years of working in finance, I didn't negotiate a single salary. I just took whatever money was offered to me. I was grateful and then I spent it. I was living my life to the fullest. Fab, but not good. It was not taking care of me emotionally, financially, or for my future. So often when I hear people say, I want financial freedom, what they're truly saying is, I want someone to rescue me. I want to find a rich partner. I'm waiting for something just to drop out of the sky and land me with a load of money. So they don't really want the responsibility of figuring out how to build wealth. They just want the lifestyle. So today, luxury has replaced self-leadership. And you see so many people chasing the aesthetic of success, the latest handbag, the luxury vacation, or just looking for like the vibes, instead of actually trying to empower themselves with the mechanics of building wealth, improving their financial education, their literacy, setting up their accounts so the money they have actually works for them. Now, the challenge with this isn't just that it's really disempowering, but also that if you're relying on someone else to just hand you things, you have to be starkly aware that if it's just given to you, it can be taken away from you. And that is a very vulnerable position to be in, especially for women. And unfortunately, I've seen where this has gone wrong so many times. And this happens in having met with women who were in long-term marriages, but they outsourced everything, handed everything over to the partner, a divorce happened, and it was chaos. Or, being in relationships, dating people and thinking I'm living this really great fancy lifestyle, but you're not funding any of it. It's your partner with all the control and power and the money. And if they break up with you and they move on to someone else, you're back at zero with no foundation. So it's not a fun place to be. So please, if you find yourself here, get informed, get empowered, and get equipped with the knowledge to start building your own financial foundation, your own sense of security and power. Now, I came across a really interesting report by UBS Wealth Management, which showed that 9% of women actually put financial independence as a top priority for themselves, despite over 85% of them saying that they all wanted financial freedom. And those two things do not align. You can't want one without actually empowering yourself with the other. So here's the brutal truth. If your plan involves waiting to be chosen, then you're not leading your life. You're not building wealth. You're simply playing dress up. Okay, here's something that's totally crazy. But most women will drop $2,000 on a new handbag, but won't invest $1,000 into their own financial education to learn how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars for free through investing. Now, what this shows to me is that most people are prioritizing the flex of showing off rather than actual freedom. Now, most people would rather look successful than actually invest the time or energy or resources in order to become financially successful. Now, I get financial literacy. It's not sexy. Maybe learning about assets and liabilities does not turn you on. It's not your jam. But that is the real glow up. Because please hear this. Wealth does not come from just aesthetics. It comes from assets. Look, you can't manifest your millions and your dream financial reality with broke habits. So if your spending is really going more on feeding your ego and not your future, then you're always going to be stuck and you're always going to be outsourcing your power to someone or something else. Now, a great study by McKinsey found that the average American spends about $1,400 on signaling purchases, so items that represent wealth, and less than $100 on actual financial education. Now, this really highlights that our priorities as a culture, as a society, are really out of whack, and that we're prioritizing comfort over growth, image over income, and looks over leverage. Now, I spend a lot of time talking about women because clearly it is the gender I better understand. But my experience has shown me that so many people are just really obsessed with chasing the lifestyle and the vibe and the look of being wealthy, and not so much the mechanics and the reality of what it takes to actually build your own wealth. And again, it leaves you very vulnerable and in a very dangerous position for it to be all taken away from you very easily. It is not the foundation that you want to build a financially successful or personally successful or fulfilled life on. So here's the brutal truth. If you care more about how rich you look than how rich you actually are, then you're the reason that you're stuck. Okay, your feminist awakening is cute, but until you stop being afraid of really owning and controlling your money, it's just performative. Because sure, meditating every morning, burning your sage, and doing all the mindset work, it can feel empowering. But wealth doesn't actually care what crystal bracelet you're wearing, and I'm saying that as someone who loves the crystal bracelets. It doesn't care how epic your morning routine is. It cares if you own assets, if you're investing to build wealth, and if you're in control of your money and acting as if it actually matters, which it does. You can't just yell empowered and then refuse to empower yourself financially. And this is something that I realized very early on when I got into this feminist movement about female empowerment, and I began to look around and realize a lot of it was just theatrics. A lot of it was just coming together and talking in circles about what needs to change or who's at fault, or it's they're the reason that we're not really where we want to be yet. And I realized the core of everything here comes down to money. And I realized we cannot talk about female empowerment without first talking about financial empowerment, because if you are not personally financially empowered, how are you leaving that job? How are you leaving that relationship? How are you pursuing your careers? How are you saying yes to the opportunities to fulfill your life purpose? You can't. You're stuck. And so female empowerment and all the talk about it, it's just talk until we actually get serious and saying, hey, I deserve to not only just make a lot of money, but to manage my money with confidence, to know how to invest my money, to build wealth, to do the things that all these boya clubs and all the guys who are in the know have been doing for decades. Yes, women are playing catch up. Yes, it's only in the 60s and 70s that women got access to bank accounts and were able to take out business loans in their own name. I am very aware of all that. But to just yell, I'm a feminist, and point fingers and blame at others and not take control of our own finances, we're just talking around in circles. So true empowerment isn't just mindset. It isn't just feeling confident. It's also money. And this is one of the conversations I especially see women just shy away from and pull back from far too many times. And they're doing themselves a massive disservice by doing so. Because yes, it may feel like a topic in an industry that feels out of bounds, and it feels a bit intimidating, and it feels very male dominated. Cool, because for the large part, it is. But that is not a reason to step back and not engage. You deserve to empower yourself in an area that matters so much. Another thing that drives me crazy is when I see women talk about equality, but they're still afraid to charge their own worth. I wish I could go back to 20-something-year-old me and shout at me and say, negotiate, charge higher, ask for more. But I didn't, right? I didn't have these conversations with other women. I didn't know that's what we were able to do. And so I accepted what was ever given to me. And I know for damn sure my male colleagues were negotiating, were getting a higher salary, even though we were doing the exact same job. But you know, kudos to them. They asked, I didn't. So it was always going to be a no. This is highlighted perfectly in an LVEST report that found that 69% of women state money as their number one source of stress. Yet those same women also admit that they don't invest and they avoid negotiating out of fear of being seen as greedy. Now, this is something that collectively we need to overcome. And again, I know there's systemic stuff, there's generational stuff. Maybe like me, you also didn't come from a family who knew anything about money or taught you anything about money. But individually, we still have a massive amount of personal power. And that can start with speaking up, asking for more, increasing your prices, negotiating, taking control of your finances, not outsourcing it to a partner or someone else or waiting to be saved. So the brutal truth is that you cannot be shouting female empowerment or equality and at the same time not be empowering yourself financially. So this one is especially relevant for the witches here in The Witch of Wall Street, because we know there is something called the witch wound, which is really where women cut themselves off from using their voice and expressing themselves fully. But this is where I see women and I hear women say that they're manifesting wealth, but they are not willing to use their voice and ask for the raise. So you're doing all the things, you're journaling, you're scripting, you're visualizing. But when the time comes to negotiate, to pitch your brand, to just even own your ambition with confidence, you shrink, you cut your voice off, and you stand back and you hide. Look, Gabby says the universe has got your back, and it's true, but the universe is not your business partner. It's not your financial planner. It won't do the work for you. You've got to step up and actually take action and do the damn thing. Because if you won't advocate for your own value, why would you expect anyone else to do it? Being silent is not spiritual. It's actually very expensive and likely has cost you a lot of money already. I know for damn sure it cost me a lot of money in my early 20s when I wasn't advocating for myself at all. I was still caught up in, I don't want to be seen as greedy. I want to be seen as so grateful and thankful for the opportunity. But we can't go back in time and change the past. All we can do is learn from that and move forward and share this message together. Have conversations around money. Share what you're doing with other women, especially in your circle, so that maybe the message can catch on that yes, this is what we do. We negotiate, we raise our prices, we can pitch our brand offers, we can ask for more and really own our ambition and our desire to be financially free. That is not a bad thing. So a study by Glassdoor found that 59% of employees, especially women and especially underrepresented groups, never negotiate their salary, and as a result are literally leaving thousands, tens of thousands on the table, if not hundreds, over the course of their entire career. So look, the brutal truth here, and I say this one with love, is that you don't have a manifestation problem, you have a courage problem. And it's time that that changes because you desire and you deserve better. So if any part of you felt called out in this video, then good. That's actually something to celebrate, because the minute that you stop outsourcing blame to someone or something else is the minute that you put yourself back in the driving seat of your life, because you are the only person that can manifest in your own reality. Despite whatever the circumstances are around you, you can be the exception to it. I have seen it myself, I have done it myself, and I know it is possible when we stop looking outward, go inward, and start taking action. Now, again, if you want the support to do that, check out the details to the collective, my new wealth community down below. And if you want to delve deeper into, okay, how do I really shift my mindset from inside out when it comes to money, be sure you check out this next video here. Now, if you enjoyed this video, and I know it may have been triggering, but that was the purpose, to trigger you, to wake you up to your own power, your own potential. If you enjoyed it, do me a massive favor, hit subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your feedback, your takeaway. What is it that stood out for you in this video? And as always, thank you so much for watching and being here.